Hi guys, and welcome to series 2 of the blog. Part 3 had to be split into 2 blocks, so here's the continuation, or if you like, part 3.5. What was your problem?
Long story short, I was given a Traveller, an electric chair called a Traveller. Now that was perfect. It was extremely comfortable. The armrests went high enough, etc., etc. Footrests were fine, etc., etc. But the only problem I had with that chair was I was getting severe electric shocks. Yeah, I touched anything or anybody, and I was getting my poor little 6-year-old wouldn't come near me because she kept getting electric shocks from me.
I remember quite a few times I came round to yours and I was getting electric shocks off you.
Exactly. So that was the only reason why they had to change that chair. They then gave me a Mirage. Yeah? Now, that had nothing but problems from the word go. The only benefit from that chair was it could be taken apart and put in the boot of a small car, or smaller car. But the footrests were digging into my shins and giving me indentations into my legs. The armrests weren't high enough. They didn't extend high enough, so they had to make an adaptation, which then put the armrest higher, but when the engineer brought it round to put onto my armrest, it was actually put on back to front. The extension was back to front, so he had to swap that around. The backrest wasn't a dead straight one, so I was leaning backwards, which was what was causing pain in my lower back constantly. But there was no other backrest that could be fitted to that chair. They were the main issues. But like I said, miraculously, all of a sudden, they've been able to give me exactly the same chair again with a completely new backrest that is fully adjustable. They've given the chair is, I think, an inch wider, so that is to make the footrest hangers actually further away from my legs, which, yes, has helped. It's not completely solved the problem, but it is a lot better. The armrests on this one go up higher. How you work that one out, I don't know. It's exactly the same chair. The seat is different. Although this chair is collapsible, it has a canvas seat, not a wooden seat. So the chair overall, when I'm sitting in it, I'm lower, which is a problem because making coffee up on my work surface and what have you, because they were all put to level from the other chair, I'm lower down. So because of my disability, I can't reach up. I can't raise my hand higher than chest level. So to try and reach up to pour a kettle or stir a cup, that hurts. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to bother them over that. So a lot of the issues have been solved. But like I said, that took roughly 6 to 8 months to sort out. Because I kept on at them.
Yeah. You know, part of the thing that I found absolutely hilarious was when I went to the wheelchair service appointment
for talk about what I think you're going to talk about.
For a reassessment, right? And she turns around to me and she says 2 things. She says, my centre of gravity in could be the problem. In whatever way the chair's set up, it could be the centre of gravity. So because the wheels on my original chair are a bit further back than technically, according to her, they should be, that might be part of the problem because I'm putting all of my weight on one side or whatever, I don't know. But she also then turned around to me and said, oh, well, the kind of chair you've got isn't meant for a permanent wheelchair user.
That's not what I thought you were going to talk about, but I'll bring the other thing up in a minute.
Go on.
You went for an assessment.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can remember this correctly, but one of the assessors was in a wheelchair himself.
Yes, I know him
And
well.
what was the question he asked you? And you, oh no, it was something about you're not supposed to put shopping on your handles on the back.
Yeah.
And my attitude was, oh, sorry, Mr. Moneybags, we can't all afford to have our shopping delivered from Harrods.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean,
and that was from another wheelchair user.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm like, no, you cannot tell me you have never put a bag on the back of your chair.
The thing is, right, I remember that vividly, right? He says to me,
he's just damn lucky I wasn't with you. Because I sat there and I said, you what?
He says to me, oh, you really shouldn't put any weight on the back of that chair. And I said, I know that. I said, but how am I supposed to do my shopping if, you know, blah blah blah, if I can't hang stuff on the back. And he went, and he showed me, he had a rucksack, right? And he put it on his legs and he said, hang it like that. And I said, well, if I want to go...
Sorry. I can't envision what you're talking about. So everybody listening to this will not have a clue.
He had a rucksack,
yes.
Right? And he put one handle on his right leg.
So he put his left leg through the handle of the rucksack.
Yeah, right.
So rather than putting his arms through the rucksack handle,
he put his legs through, right?
Right.
He put his left leg through, his right leg through, and he says to me, do that.
Well,
and I was like, well,
a rucksack would carry about a day's worth of shopping, so you've got to go out every day to do a bit of shopping.
I don't
want to work out more expensive in the long run.
Exactly. I don't want to be going out every day. When I go out, I want to be able to do a weekly shop, as any able-bodied, in inverted commas, person would want to.
Or as near as a full shop as you can get.
As near as a full... And I realise that, you shouldn't necessarily put too much weight on the handles.
They don't want to see what I put on the back of my chair then, do they?
But I realise you shouldn't put too much weight on the handles. But how do they expect a disabled person to do it?
They expect us to have an able-bodied carer. That's what they expect.
Oh, so they don't...
Someone else to do it for us. I've told you, we're not meant to be able to live on our own.
They don't expect us to be independent.
No, of course not.
So
we have paid carers to do that for us. Well, exactly, but that's what I'm saying. That's what they expect. They don't believe that we're capable of living on our own.
But my point is that this was coming from a disabled person. And everybody...
That's what shocked me the most.
Everybody's situation is different. My situation is different from yours. Your situation is different. Your situation is different from mine and anybody else's situation. Everybody who's listening to this, their situation will be different from yours and mine. Because everybody lives their life in whatever way they do, blah, blah, blah. But, to expect someone, just because they're in a wheelchair, to have their shopping delivered because they can, why? Why should I sit at my computer and think, oh, I'll have that, only to find out when it is finally delivered, nothing shows up. Nothing turns up, or they've replaced items with things that I didn't actually want. I'd rather go to the shop and see the items and pick them for myself.
But more importantly, in my mind, it's the social activity of walking out your front door, seeing strangers, picking things for yourself, feeling like you've done something. That, to me, is much more important than sitting at home, clicking a button. Well, I fancy this, and I fancy that, and I'll have this, and I'll have that. And like he said, to turn up, oh, sorry, we couldn't give you 90% of your shopping because it was out of stock or whatever. Well, then what's the point in bloody online shopping then? You wouldn't buy a pair of trousers and expect a pair of shoes in replace of them, would you?
No.
Tesco are the ones I have done online shopping with, and Iceland. And I've never done an online shop with them where I've got every item I've asked for. And that is why I haven't done an online shop with Asda, because I know they'll end up doing the same.
Oh, don't talk to me about Asda's online shopping.
I can't remember exactly what supermarket it was. It was either Tesco or Asda. Their online billing.
Yes.
Customers were getting charged 20, 30, and even in some cases, 60, 70 pounds dearer for what their shopping actually cost. Yeah. That wasn't Watchdog.
And as a disabled person, obviously, the fact that you're on a low income, you can't afford to be paying 60, 70 quid out.
Oh, but haven't you heard the news flash? We're disabled. We're loaded. We get all these benefits. We're loaded.